Stevie Fast Jackson, KTR. We're here today for Stevie Fast Q&A episode 4. I appreciate you guys' comments and questions that you post on our YouTube channel, and we're going to take a few minutes and answer some of those today. "706 Films. If I had a chance and there was still an organization like Orska, would I do it? Absolutely. I cut my teeth. My first organized drag racing outside of grudge racing was with Orska. I loved it. It was like a big family. I remember the first time I pulled up to my first Orska race, I couldn't believe the amount of toter homes and trucks and trailers and semis, the scale of it. I had never seen anything like it. And at the end of the day, we were all a big family. It was super competitive, and some of the best friends that I have in my life today came from that series. So absolutely, I would love to do that if something come around like that, and I had time to do it. Brian White, what advice would you give to someone building a top sportsman car? Build it to meet Pro Mod certifications and race it in top sportsman class until the opportunity arises to race Pro Mod. And also, what started or caused me to not like turbo cars? Likes watching my videos, and I remember talking to you in Norwalk on Saturday night. I always try to make time for the fans. You say thank you for stopping working on the car and come talking to you. You guys are what pay the bills. At the end of the day, I appreciate you guys coming out. I love your support. Thank you. To get to your question, if I was going to build a top sportsman car now and I had the funds, I would build a legal Pro Mod, certified for Pro Mod, and then race it in top sportsman. The cars are not much different at all. You know, a Pro Mod car will be a little stiffer, maybe a double frame roller versus a single. Our cars are very consistent and repeatable. They're so stiff. If you had the funds, I would build a legal car. Two reasons. One, if your funding and sponsorship opportunity gets you into to where you can run Pro Mod, you're already there. You'll just need basically a different powertrain. And two, resale value. If you decide to sell that thing, a rolling competitive Pro Mod chassis is far easier to sell, holds its value longer, and is way quicker to move, I think. So that would be my advice there. On what started me out not liking turbo cars, when I first started drag racing, especially organized drag racing, we're talking about Orska a little bit, there was just this heated rivalry between me and turbo guys. And I'm a grudge racer. I was a lot younger back then. Y'all think I'm spicy now. I used to be really spicy. So basically, turbos were a villain. There was some people running turbos I didn't like. I got shafted on a couple of deals by a couple of turbo guys, and it just kind of one of those things, you know, you don't know why you don't like Brussels sprouts. You just don't like them. You know, they just taste like shit. That's kind of like turbos. Things are very good on dump trucks and stuff. Good to haul rocks. Good to move dirt. Good to get your race car to the track. Don't belong in drag racing on a racetrack. I love crushing. It's fun. Jeremy Crowden, do you remember racing at Brainerd Optimus Drag Strip? Absolutely. That's one of the highlights of my racing career. We went there and raced at Mark Sample's deal. He put on a $20,000 to win. Huge race back then. And the racetrack, let's just say that the surface was not stellar. We got there and tested. We burned the head off of it. Back then, there was no spare head. There was no spare parts. There was no spare engine. I had like a 24-foot enclosed trailer with nothing in it but a fuel jug, a battery charger, a case of beer, and a pickup truck. So we burned that thing up. We had loaded the whole deal up. Me and my buddy Chris Johnson were ready to pull out, and somebody come over to me and kind of got me fired up a little bit. We unloaded the car, unbolted the head, found a machine shop in Tennessee, drove all through the night, got the head welded up, fixed, valve, seat, left the machine shop in Tennessee at 6 a.m. I ran 100 miles an hour to get back to the track. We get to the track at 11 or 12, bolt the head on, go out there and win the race on a Holeshot. So it was a cool deal. That's one of my most exciting wins. So yeah, I definitely remember that. That was a hairy race, hairy racetrack. It was hot and it was fun to drive. Things were just as competitive as they are back then, but they sure were a lot cheaper. It was fun. Griswold, 1968. Can you describe your relationship with Billy Stocklin, how you originally hooked up, and will there be a time he comes to work for me full time? That's a story that could take hours. Me and Billy Stocklin originally met competing against each other, running Radio versus the World at Donald Long's radial tire races. Didn't really know each other, but we knew who each other were. We were fierce competitors. We'd raced a couple times. When Alan Nobby bought my old orange car, the original Pro Charge car, in 2012, and I went over there to kind of show them how to race it and race them for it. Billy was over there tuning Alex Hostler and Frank Manzo's Pro Extreme car. At the time, it was the quickest Pro Extreme car in the world, and it had a big old loud noisy blower on it, and I loved it, so I kind of hung around the blower shop a lot. Me and Billy kind of hit it off. I liked his nerdy mentality, and he liked my brash approach to setting up the car. So we became friends right away. Got along right away. Me and Billy are kind of, I've said it before, we're chocolate and peanut butter. Our styles of racing are so similar that it's scary. How we get to the point that each of us get to set the car up is different. Somewhere in the middle is I believe, perfection. I think Billy's the smartest in the world at what he does. I don't know why he still races with me. He should be running a fuel car somewhere. But we hit that relationship off, started Pro Nitrous Racing, won the World Championship, and kind of the rest has been history. Billy always has a opportunity to work for me full time. That's a standing offer. He has a company. Billy has a huge trucking company that he runs for a day job. So I don't know that he'll ever be in a position where he can come work full time. But the door's always open. He's one of my dearest friends. Jacob Vanilla KTR, the best. Can we please get a video tour of your shop? Absolutely. We just did a YouTube video with a tour of the shop. It'll be posted on the website in a day or two, and I check it out and I appreciate it. A lot of people have been wanting to see, the KTR shop. So we took a few minutes and shot a video, and it was kind of fun. I hope you enjoy it. Next we got Sammy Martin. Can we please get a walkthrough video of your transporter? Also Sammy, we just did a YouTube video shooting the inside of the transporter. It's a little dirty because we're getting ready to load up for a race. It'll be on our website in a day or two. Check it out, and thank you. I appreciate that. Luke Kennedy, would you race Big Cheeseburger of Sesame Street Outlaws in his Crow Mod deal? Not only would I race that clown, I would absolutely donkey stomp him into the ground. I don't think, the question is not if I would race him, the question is would he ever race me? Door's always open. Any of them guys want to race, all you got to do is reach in your pocket, dig out a bunch of $100 bills and line up and let's go. Not hard to talk me into that. Groom Lake. I always thought the Shadow was built different for Radio vs. the World. When you ran it in Pro Mod, you must have had to change the kitchen sink. The Shadow's a Pro Stock body and seems a lot smaller than the Pro Mod style body. Isn't the Shadow RJ in the old car a Bickle? One more, if you're running a 4 and 7 and 3-2 swap, like beating the bearing out of number 3. The Shadow was built as a Radio vs. the World car. We built that thing basically as a backup. It was built to be able to grudge race on big tires. It was never really built to run NHRA legal. The engine's kind of in the specific spot you'd want it for a radial, and there's some other things in it that was more purpose built to run on small tires. With that being said, we compensate with things like ratio and moving weight around, header angles and stuff to make it where we can run it in Pro Mod. But yes, we had to change everything front to back on it. I'm worried we've changed so much stuff when we get ready to, I have a book this thick of things we got to put back when we go radial racing. It is a Pro Stock body. It is a little smaller than some of the other Pro Mod bodies. Wheelbase is the same. The Shadow is an RJ car and the old car is a Bickle. The Hyde car and the old NHRA car, the one we crashed in Charlotte, are Bickle cars. Shadow's an RJ car. Jerry Bickle builds a tremendous car. Rick Jones builds a tremendous car. A lot of times for us, it's a time frame of when we can get it that picks whether we go here or there. Respect both those guys a lot. I'm honored to be customers of both of those, buy parts from both of them, and I appreciate both of them. Last part of your question is if we're running a 4.7 and 3 and 2 swap, and does it like to beat the Bear 9 number 3? Uh, I've got a rack of camshafts. Some of them are 4.7 swap, some of them are standard, some of them are LS firing order with a 3.2 swap. Generally, the camshaft doesn't dictate us wanting to tear up a engine bearing. Um, More, it changes the fuel system around, the manifold design. Some people like the LS swap with the double swap. Some people like the 4.7 swap. I run both of them. It depends on where we're going, and it depends on what we're trying to do, whether we got a supercharger on it that makes a lot of boost like a screw blower, or a roots blower like what we have to run in NHRA kind of determines that. Never had any bearing issues in number 3 because of the firing order swap though. And that's it. I appreciate you guys tuning in at Q&A 4, and we'll see you at the racetrack. Thank you. One more thing, don't forget to check out our newly revamped website. Matt's rebuilt the whole thing and did an awesome job. Fresh look. We've condensed all the stores into one thing on the website. We got your international store and domestic store in one store now. And we also have a new deal coming on there, parts.steviefast.com, where we'll be selling a bunch of used parts, new parts, racing parts. In a week or so, when I get back from World Series of Pro Mod, we'll be adding a whole bunch of stuff to that thing. So take a look there, steviefast.com. Thank you.